for joining us for today's INGenIOuS panel on internships. The INGenIOuS effort is a joint effort by many of the professional societies in this field to try to improve our workforce, the future of mathematics and statistics scientists. And to do that, we are facilitating a number of online discussions. Today's is the first with this interactive panel, followed by a forum discussion. We'll also have other topics addressed, such as job placement and measurement and evaluation. You can learn about all the different discussions that will be taking place over the next 2 months at ingeniusmathstat.org. That's ingeniusmathstat.org. You can also learn there what INGenIOuS stands for. Our creative pseudo-acronym has become quite the playful draw for our community. So with no further ado, I would like to start this panel and turn it off to our two leads, Angela Shiflett and Bob Starbuck, and they will introduce the rest of the panel. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'll do the introductions just using the information I have, just so we get them as much time as possible for discussion. Angela Shiflett is the Larry H. McCullough Professor of Mathematics and Computer Science and Director of the Emphasis in Computational Science at Wofford College. And I am Bob Starbuck. I retired as the Assistant Vice President of Special Projects at Wyeth Pharmaceuticals, and spent 31 years in the pharmaceutical industry, mostly at Wyeth. I was mostly involved with clinical trials. The other people on the panel, I'll start just in alphabetical order. Tom Gehrig. Tom, if each of you might wave your hand in front of you so we can see who I'm talking about. There we go.
I'm Tom.
Tom was on the faculty of NC State, chaired the Department of Statistics for a number of years. But what's relevant for this discussion is he was a co-founder of a program called the Graduate Industrial Trainee Program, or GIT as its acronym is, at NC State, and that involves NC State with a number of the industry partners, primarily in the Research Triangle Park area. Matthias Gaubert has run research experiences for undergraduates and as a professor of mathematics at the University of Maryland. Amanda Marvell is a Wofford College graduate who interned at Greenwood Genetics Center in Massachusetts General Hospital and the National Institutes of Health. She's a biology instructor and director of digital media learning at the Research Triangle High School, which I just found out from her is kind of at the intersection of I-40 and the 147, which runs into Durham. So right out in the heart of the Research Triangle Park. Debbie McCoy, who joined us today from Qatar over in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, is a former director of the Oak Ridge National Laboratory REMS program for underrepresented students. She's retired from Oak Ridge, but is doing apparently some consulting work over in the sandy area of the world, and sand and oil area of the world. Frank Selos is a Wofford College graduate who interned at JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory out in north of Pasadena, California, and he's a planetary scientist at Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab. And Wei Shen, who has not joined us yet, I believe. Oh, there we go. He has joined us. Hi, Wei. He's a senior director of statistics at Eli Lilly in Indianapolis, and is in charge of internships for statisticians. So that is our group of panelists. And we will now proceed with our first question to the panelists, which Angela will ask.
Would like a brief description of your involvement in internships, whether you were as a co-op or as a student intern or a mentor or employer of interns. So from anything that you've had. So if it's multiple things, we would love to hear about it. And so just starting from left to right, Amanda, why don't you?
So as an undergraduate at Wofford, I had the opportunity to intern at the genetic epidemiology unit at the Greenwood Genetics Center. And there I was able to work with one of the epidemiologists, and I got a hands-on experience of how working in the real world went. I think that was really, really influential. After that, I interned at the Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston looking at Alzheimer's disease. And again, I was able to get firsthand knowledge of exactly what was going on in the workforce, which was far different than what was happening in the college. So I was able to apply what I was learning in the classroom to the workforce. And then finally, I capped off my internships by working at the National Institutes of Child and Human Development at the NIH. And I think that really sparked my interest in science, and finally made me realize that I was able to take on a PhD in genetics, which is what I ended up doing. And all of those roles together allowed for me to learn what was actually happening and prepare me for working in the real world.
Okay, we can't hear Angela. Does anybody hear Angela?
No, I think she's probably on mute.
Angela, we cannot hear you. Are you on mute?
There's a microphone that's at the top that you can hit.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's off or on for her.
Did that go off? Is that on now?
It's on now.
Okay, that sounds great. I thought we'd go in order from left to right, and I'll just say that I have participated as a faculty member in internships at various labs, and saw how much that I learned from that. And so that being the basis, then I've really tried to encourage all the students to do internships, and for our emphasis in computational science, we require an internship, which I think has been a big advantage. So if we go to the next one down the list.
That'll be Debbie.
Debbie, are you here?
So I have to unmute. I'm in this huge conference room. So as an employer of interns, I found that the interns who had previous exposure to the workplace actually did a lot better. And my personal experience and I guess passion was for bringing those students in and giving them that first experience. And so, you know, we had all grade levels from high school graduates all the way up through PhD candidates.
And then next on the list, Frank, I believe you're next.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Frank Seeloss. I'm currently employed at APL, the Applied Physics Laboratory, which is a research facility associated with Johns Hopkins. I am a Wofford College graduate, class of '99. I spent a lot of time listening to Dr. Shiflett in class, and some of it actually stuck, Angela. When I was an undergrad at Wofford, Dr. Shiflett played a huge role in getting me hooked up with the SURF program out at Caltech and JPL. SURF is an acronym for the Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship. And so in the summer of '97, I hopped in my car and drove across the country and did an internship at JPL in a computer science focused program. It was actually working with something called a prototype verification system. But 1997 also happened to be when Mars Pathfinder landed. It was our return to the I say R now because I'm now part of the community, but it was a return to Mars for the planetary science group and really for the country. And when I was out there in that summer, I had a badge to get on JPL. I got to go to all the press conferences, all the announcements out there. And so in addition to the very interesting work I was doing, I was immersed in this planetary science experience. The following summer, I went back to JPL after I graduated for another internship, this time hunting asteroids with the Near Earth Asteroid Tracking Program. The summer of '99, after I graduated, I did the NASA Academy at Goddard. It was supported by the South Carolina Space Grant Consortium. And somewhere along the way, I did something called SAGE, which is the Summer Undergraduate, boy, I've forgotten the acronym. The Summer Experience in Applied Geophysics. which is essentially a geophysics field camp that was sponsored by Los Alamos and some academic institutions. The sum total of all those experiences were varied but equally fantastic was that it really set me on the career path that I find myself on now. Those experiences directed me toward an interest in planetary science, kind of focused from a more broad interest in my undergraduate work, just math and physics, and led me to apply to graduate school at WashU in Earth and Planetary Sciences. And as I said, that kind of set me on the path that landed me here at APL. Since I've been at the lab, I've been a mentor to some of the interns that we've hosted here, in addition to participating in a different as a mentor in a different program that operates at the high school and actually we expanded to the undergraduate level, but we're reaching out to high school groups and college groups and actually getting them working with some of the very interesting planetary science data, and that has kind of continued to foster the interest in STEM careers for people heading into college and grad school.
Great. Matthias? Matthias? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi everybody. I had to unmute. Yes, I had to unmute first. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I really like what Frank said about how internships can get you started on a career and really influence what you choose. I'm a faculty member at the university, so not hosting interns in that traditional sense, but we're hosting a research experiences for undergraduate side here. And I would really hope that we actually do that same thing of helping people get started on a certain career. We having high performance computing is our theme here. So